Who is Byron Davis and the Fresh Crew? Why does this record sell for so much? And what's the song I'm Just a Player all about? So this is going to be a real quick history of this record and the group Byron Davis and the Fresh Crew. So many of you probably seen this if you're a hip-hop collector, sell for a lot of money. I don't know why. I can't answer that question, but I can answer the question about Byron Davis and the Fresh Crew and the track. So giving you some background, this is released in 1984 on a independent label called Players Only Records. Now, 1984 in West Coast, so this is Southern California, LA, pretty much had one type of sound. For the most part, it was what we call West Coast electro. So this is like electronica, dance type of music with like a little bit of hip hop flavor. So think like African Bambaataa, Looking for the Perfect Beat, Planet Rock, etc. So this is actually unique because in 1984, this comes out not from LA. Most of you probably know this is coming from the Inland Empire out here. You can see this map here. It's from a small town called Moreno Valley. At the time, it was just called Sunnymead. So West Coast hip hop started off more DJ because it was really dominated by parties and clubs and that kind of stuff. So not like East Coast as much, where there was a lot of the rapping wasn't that big. So Egyptian Lover, Dre when he was with the Wrecking Crew, Uncle Jam's Army, a lot of these big hip hop groups started off as DJing groups that then started recording records. So Byron Davis was the same thing. He was based out of Moreno Valley, near what was known as the March Air Force Base. It was a Air Force military base. So you have a large African American Latino population in at that time a pretty much white community. So he comes in there, and like many people started DJing at local parties and whatnot at the base and local house parties and schools. And eventually, in 1984, by that point, you have Uncle Jam's Army releases their first records. Dollar Freak, you have Egyptian Lover releasing it in 83. Egypt. And then eventually LA Dream Team comes out in 84. Wrecking Crew comes out with their first track in 84. So this now becomes real popular. Wow, okay, if I'm a DJ, I can actually record records and press it. So that's basically what Byron Davis did. If you look at the credits here, it says Byron Davis and Carbullido. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's a brother named Darrell, and he was also a local living in Moreno Valley. They somehow became friends, and one day Darrell gets a gift. He gets a Roland 606, I believe, drum machine and a Polykorg 800 keyboard. And at the time, Planet Rock was real big, so he basically comes up with this beat at home. He puts the bass line and the beats that kind of sound like Planet Rock, right? Real up tempo, real fast, and then with a bass line. The synthesizer melody, kind of like Egyptian Lover. So those are two big songs, 83, 84. So he puts it together. He goes, "Yo, Darrell, check this out." He puts on it, records on a cassette tape. He plays it. He plays it for Byron Davis. Like, this is pretty tight. Now, Byron Davis is not a rapper. He can rap, but he's not like known for his rapping. But you don't really have much options. It was pretty much just them at the time. So Byron Davis records a couple of verses for this track. I'm Just a Player. Okay, it's not really like outstanding. It will do. So you got the beat, you got the verse. They had a friend of theirs that did some background noises on the track, like the heavy breathing. Again, that was popular at the time. They record it at a local recording studio they had a 16-track equipment there, but they only used 8 tracks. There's a real bare bones kind of operation here. So that's why when you listen to it, it's nothing like Egyptian Lover. It's nothing like Wrecking Crew. It's very lo-fi. It's very like, hey, let's just kind of just do this overnight and see what happens. I kind of like that raw sound. It's a little bit, not very, in terms of quality, it's not really up there, but it's just kind of like a real fun kind of novelty track just to kind of see. hey, can we do this? And if I'm not mistaken, this is probably the second record out of the hip hop record out of the Inland Empire after Caution Crew, which is Rodney O's and Brother Marquise's old group. Okay, so now they got to press this record up. So at the time, '84, you really only have two major options for pressing this on your own. You don't get, obviously getting a major record deal is out of the question. So where do they go? They go to either Macola Records or a small plant in San Pedro called Bill Smith. He had a pressing plant. They go to Bill Smith. They go ahead and they record this. They press it up there. You got a bunch of copies now. They're in their car, and they're driving. Darrell's driving Byron Davis's Mazda on the 10 freeway going back to Moreno Valley, and the car basically blows out on the 10 freeway. And what happened was from what Darrell told me, the car battery was too big for the size of the car, so basically it was like a mismatch, and so the car blew out, and they got stranded, and it's hot, how it is out there, and these records are baking in the trunk, but fortunately they're able to salvage them. They went back to Mobile, started pushing these. Now again, it's, sure, it might be a local hit, but it's not really going to get that far. So it doesn't really kind of go beyond that with Darrell and Byron. Darrell, they have some disagreement or whatever the case is. Darrell goes his way. Byron Davis still has his DJ crew, and they have, his name is pretty well known out there. So he continues recording stuff. If you listen to the later records from Byron Davis, the quality does get better. He starts getting some help. A guy by the name of Special K, KMC, starts doing some of the raps. So Byron doesn't have to worry about that. And then another guy named GQ Joe helping with the production, although it's still Byron Davis primarily, but now he has like a crew of folks that can kind of put out some stuff. So he has a couple of other records. My Hands Are Quicker Than the Eye. It's a big classic also, a lot more polished than this one. Eventually though, this is interesting, he gets a reference to Foresight Records. This is a Miami-based record label out of Miami. How did he get that connection? Well, outside of Byron Davis and the Fresh Crew in that Moreno Valley area, March Air Force Base, the only other really big name that was doing DJing and even recording was the 2 Live Crew. Yes, the same one that became popular. At the time, it was a guy named Mr. Mix, as you know, their DJ David Hobbs. He's actually from Corona, the town next over. So, anyways, as you know the story, 2 Live Crew gets the deal from Luke in Florida, and so obviously they know each other, they're acquaintances. So he's like, yo Byron, like I got this deal in Florida, and he had a connection. David, Mr. Mix's brother, was a DJing for another crew in also Miami, so he's now referring people there. So basically Byron Davis goes and gets a deal in Miami, and they actually give him a deal to actually record a full record. This is some of the pictures from that, so you can kind of see the new lineup for Byron Davis and the Fresh Crew here, California style. So this photo was taken, this photo shoot was taken in Riverside at a big mansion that I think they rented for the day. So you can see some of the people in the crew. You got Byron Davis right there in the middle with his Jerry curls and red glasses, and you've got you can see Special K up in there. I don't see GQ Joe, but maybe he was there. I don't know. But anyways, so this was they actually ended up releasing their first full album in Miami. And then they got the next album that comes out about the same time. This is actually another photo from that time. This is like now their last album. You can see Byron Davis right here, sporting the Afrocentric gear that became popular, and you can see some other folks up in there. You got the Miami Beach backdrop there. You can see Special K on the side, and some of the other crew members, right? Byron Davis, and so Hot Productions, I think, had some kind of deal with Foresight. They were, I think, distributing. So anyway, so Byron Davis releases his second album in Florida, and that's pretty much it for the Fresh Crew. They don't record anything else. He had, I think, one track he did for Groove Time Records, but that's pretty much it. So that's the story with Byron Davis and the Fresh Crew. I got most of my information from Darrell, one of the early members, and also Byron Davis. I interviewed him back in the day. So anyways, if you ever were wondering what the story is, now you know. Peace.